Hi, it's Katie Harris from the Mitochondria Code, and today we're talking about lifestyle. So this is your mitochondria's best friend. So over the last couple of videos, we've talked about too much NAD, too little NAD, and how both can cause problems for your mitochondria. But today I want to show you the final piece of the puzzle, and that is how your lifestyle choices can make or break your mitochondrial health. And here's the great part. Unlike expensive supplements or IV therapies, these changes are free and they work with your body's natural chemistry. Because as I've said before, the body only works one way. And when you deviate from that one way, then you get manifestations, right? So if your body has to do a workaround because there's not enough glutathione, your body has to do a workaround because there's too much NAD or not enough of the right vitamins coming in, then it starts taking from other places. There's certain critical functions that have to get done in the body. And if they're not available, then the body starts stealing from other places. And when it steals enough, then you feel the effects of it, right? So why does one person get liver cancer and another person gets breast cancer and another person gets dementia and another person gets multiple sclerosis? It all has to do with where the body is stealing from, right? So if it's taking things and then this process over here isn't able to do what it needs to do because the body has determined that something else takes priority, that's when you get disease manifestation. So really the key is working with your biochemistry and understanding what is it that you're deficient in that we can support and fix so that we can hopefully reverse as much as possible. There's ultimately a point of no return in some cases, where we can only do so much to help you return to the one way that the body works. But there is hope and there's always improvement when you start implementing a lot of this stuff. So let's get into it. So lifestyle, it's a big part of it. Lifestyle determines about 80 to 90% of your health. So this is something we should focus on. It's kind of dismissed or poo-pooed, right? But it's really, really important. So your body is a combustion engine, and I've mentioned this before. So if you think about your body as a hydrocarbon combusting machine, food is your fuel, right? Carbs, fats, proteins. These are, and basically fats and carbs. The proteins get broken down into amino acids, and very rarely are they used for ATP, but if you got to use it, if the body doesn't have enough carbs and fats or it can't process them because your mitochondria are dysfunctional, it might steal proteins to help generate energy. But anyway, your mitochondria are the engine cylinders. They burn fuel to make ATP, and that's the energy currency of your body and of your cells. But here's the catch. Your mitochondria aren't just passive burners. They are precision machines. They're so impressive. They need the right air-fuel mix. They need clean spark plugs, and they need regular maintenance. So in our case, the spark plugs are enzymes, the air is oxygen, and the fuel injectors are things like NAD, which is a coenzyme that allows energy transfer to happen. So why does lifestyle matter? Why does this matter for NAD? Well, your body makes NAD naturally, but lifestyle determines how much and how well it's used. So think of it as your body's own energy budget. Bad habits cause energy debt. Your mitochondria start burning dirty, right? Like an old car engine. Good habits keep everything running smooth, clean, and efficient. So the ultimate mitochondrial tune-up. Exercise literally forces your cells to build more mitochondria, and it's called mitochondrial biogenesis. That's what we all want. You need more mitochondria, and there's lots of different ways you can do this, and we'll talk about it. But more mitochondria means more ATP production capacity and a healthier NAD balance. And here's a bonus. Resistance training increases muscle mass, which is your body's biggest sink for glucose, reducing inflammation and improving insulin sensitivity. And the best part about this is that muscle mass utilizes glucose without insulin. So you don't need to release insulin in order for the muscles to use glucose. If you've got a lot of extra glucose, this is why they tell diabetics to get out and exercise. If you have a lot of glucose or whatever, and you go exercise, your muscles will use that. It doesn't require insulin. Insulin's what makes you fat. The two hormones that make you fat are insulin and cortisol, right? If I give you insulin, you'll get fat. If I give you prednisone or synthetic cortisol, you'll get fat. That's just the way it, those are the two hormones that do that. Muscles are taking up glucose independent of insulin, then you're clearing the system without releasing insulin, which is just better overall. And it's one of the reasons that people lose weight or maintain a weight. And it is, the muscle mass is your biggest sink unless you don't have any muscle, right? If you don't have any muscle, you got problems. So get to the gym. Now, the fasting and caloric cycling. This is another way to boost NAD. So that is your best free tool for boosting NAD is fasting or eating within a time restricted window. Why? Because when you're not constantly digesting food, your body activates sirtuins, which are enzymes that depend on NAD to repair DNA. They recycle damaged cells and they run cleanup mode. This is really, really important. So it allows the body in the fasting state to switch over to fatty acid. And fatty acid is what is required. The muscles like to use fatty acid as well. The heart uses fatty acids. One of the reasons you don't see heart cancer is because the heart is almost fully reliant on fatty acid utilization. Cancer can be prevented in many, many cases is because cancer relies on a constant supply of glucose. And if you're in a starved or fasting state, then the cancer cells are very vulnerable. They cannot use fatty acids as a fuel source, but your body can, right? Your healthy cells can use fatty acids as a fuel, but cancer cells cannot. They have to have a constant supply of glucose. So think of fasting as giving your mitochondria time to change the oil instead of constantly running at full throttle. Sleep, the overnight repair shop, right? So most of your cellular repair, including DNA maintenance, happens during deep sleep. Poor sleep drains your NAD because your body spends more time fighting stress than rebuilding. So you want to aim for 7 to 9 hours in a cold, cool, dark room. So if your sleep is broken, your mitochondria are working overtime without the rest that they need. If you don't know if you're getting enough sleep, get one of the sleep trackers. There's so many options out there. I personally like the Oura Ring. I use that and I can see how much deep sleep that I'm getting in a given night. And that's been really, really helpful to reduce just health anxiety because sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I didn't get any deep sleep. And I look at the Oura Ring and I did get deep sleep. And then I feel a little bit more relaxed talking myself into I had such a bad night. Now I'm so tired. There's other things. It's very helpful to just have the numbers and to know. Something that we take for granted, sunlight, okay, and also red light. So sunlight, especially the morning light, sets your circadian rhythm, which regulates mitochondrial function. So red light therapy can even stimulate cytochrome C oxidase, which is a key enzyme in the mitochondrial electron transport chain, which in translation just makes your cells make more energy more efficiently. So that's ideal. So morning sunlight, amazing, completely free, one of the best things you could have. You can also use red light. Red light is very well known for increasing mitochondrial biogenesis, and it pierces through to the mitochondria, which very few things can do. All right, low uric acid as a clue. So I use uric acid as a proxy for NAD. So if uric acid is low, it means that your NAD recycling is sluggish, and adding NAD precursors can give you the boost that you need. But on the flip side, if it's high, it might mean your energy system is clogged up and lifestyle repair is needed before dumping more fuel in. So that can serve as our clue. Keeping inflammation low. So inflammation is like engine rust, right? It slows everything down. Chronic infections, food sensitivities, environmental toxins all drain NAD. So anti-inflammatory foods, proper gut health, and stress management are your link to de-rusting. It's your de-rusting kit. And it's a lifestyle, not a hack. This isn't something that we're going to do for a day or a couple days or a couple weeks. Supplements and IVs absolutely have their place. I'm a big fan of supplements. I love getting IVs done, but your lifestyle is absolutely the key. So if you're, putting premium fuel into a car with a broken engine, then you're not really doing yourself any favors. So the real longevity hack is a lifestyle that maintains clean, powerful mitochondrial engines so that the NAD can do its job. Your mitochondria are always listening, so give them the right signals. So if this series on mitochondria was helpful, please subscribe to our Mitochondria Code, hit the bell so you never miss an episode, and in the comments, let me know which lifestyle tips you focus on or you think you're going to focus on coming up.